Greetings, YouTube. The Doctor is in. Dr. Urias Papers here, coming at you with another commentary on Dungeons & Dragons. And today on the Doctor Spell Prognosis, we're talking about one of my favorite spells of all time, Black Tentacles, or as some previous versions have called it, Evard's Black Tentacles. And we are giving this spell an A+, but first, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you have any questions or comments, please leave a question or a comment. All right, so let's talk about this spell. It is a 4th level spell that is only usable by wizards and the Great Old One warlocks. Now, I'm going to bring this up because I don't fully understand the reasoning behind this, but why wizards and not sorcerers? You know, again, there are some spells that sorcerers can cast that wizards can't, and there are some spells that wizards can cast that sorcerers can't, and I don't see the rhyme or reason as to why that is, but it is what it is. So there's only 2 classes that can do it, and one of them is not a full one. It's only Great Old One warlocks and not a full warlock. So it's not on every warlock's list, and that's what I mean by that. So it's a 4th level spell. Takes 1 action to cast, which is a great. It is a range of 90 feet, which is an awesome range. It is a 20-foot square on the ground, that's a very big area. Verbal and somatic and material components, and the material component is worthless, so that doesn't really matter. Lasts for an entire minute, and it is concentration. And yes, you do want to concentrate on this spell the whole time. And it requires a dex save, which is not the best, but that's not the worst, and it's the best of the physical attributes to target. So squirming ebony tentacles fill a 20-foot square on the ground that you can see within range, and for the duration, these tentacles turn the ground into difficult terrain. If you put this down on plant growth, which does not cause difficult terrain, then it will complement that very nicely and cause it to be almost impossible to get out of the area where the tentacles are. Just remember that. Plant growth does not cause difficult terrain. It causes every foot of movement to cost 4 feet. Difficult terrain costs every foot of movement to cost 2 feet. Those put together, every foot of movement costs 5 feet. So to go 1 square requires 25 feet of movement. So if you're in the center of this thing, you're not getting out. So when a creature enters the affected area for the first time, that's very important on a turn. That's very important. So when you push something into this, it triggers the saving throw. If it runs into it, it triggers the saving throw. The other thing is, or it starts its turn there. So if you push it in there, it's going to get a saving throw. If you cast it on a creature, it did not enter it, and it has not started its turn, it will not be affected until it starts its turn. So remember that. First time it enters on a turn, or it starts its turn. The creature must succeed on a dexterity saving throw or take 3d6 bludgeoning damage and be restrained by the tentacles until the spell ends. Okay. Strain means it has a speed of 0, and it can't benefit from any bonus to its speed. Attack rolls against the creature have advantage, and the creature's attack rolls have disadvantage, and it has disadvantage against dexterity saving throws. Now, it's not making a dexterity saving throw anymore once it's restrained. So it's dexterity saving throws, not dexterity checks, okay? A creature that starts its turn in the area and is already restrained by the tentacles takes 3d6 bludgeoning damage. So any spellcaster that is concentrating on a spell, when you cast this, is going to take damage, and then they're going to have to make a concentration check. A creature restrained by the tentacles can use its action to make a strength or dexterity check against your spell DC, which you should make sure is as high as it can possibly be. On a success, it frees itself. So let's look at different things. Now, I want to point out that you should be looking to make the saving throw as difficult as possible. Now, bards cannot use this spell per se, but there are magical secrets that they can get to get this spell, and a bard of eloquence that has unsettling words can use those to give a penalty to a saving throw. So you want to be able to do that. Warlocks can give penalties to skill checks, dex or strength checks. with Hex, which is awesome. But Hex is a concentration, so you would have to have somebody else cast the spell to do that. But you need to work that out in tandem. You need to work that out beforehand. All right. So Warlocks, we're going to look at the Warlock here. They have this great ability called Repelling Blast, which allows you to push a creature 10 feet in a straight line each time they're hit with a Eldritch Blast. And when you're high level, you get multiple Eldritch Blasts. So you could blast this thing right back into the Black Tentacles. Crusher Feet. Once per turn, when you hit a creature with attack that deals bludgeoning damage, you can move it 5 feet. So if it has just come out, you can bash it back in. Thunder Wave. Each creature in a 15-foot cube originating from you must make a Constitution saving throw or be pushed 10 feet. You can push them right back in. And the tentacles don't take damage. So there's no statistics in here for the tentacles. So they have no stats. So you can do whatever you want damage-wise to things inside of it or near it. Vortex Warp, another great spell, although it's a concentration saving throw, which I don't like, which Thunder Wave is also a concentration spell. So you must succeed on a Constitution saving throw, and it's teleport to an unoccupied space of your choice that you can see with the range. The chosen space must be on a surface or in a liquid that can support the target without the target having to squeeze, and the tentacles don't take up a space, so you're going in it. Dragonborn, metallic Dragonborns get this repulsion breath. So each creature in the cone must succeed on a strength saving throw or be pushed 20 feet away. This is another bad saving throw, and be knocked prone, and you go in there. So once you use this, you can't do it again for a long rest. So there are many different ways to get things into the Black Tentacles if they ever get out. But if they're in there, the other thing that you need to be conscious of is the fact that restraining them gives them disadvantage on dexterity saving throws. Fireball and Lightning Bolt are both dexterity saving throws. So once they're in it, start blasting them, because then they're gonna be penalized for that. Again, if you got a Warlock in the party who didn't cast this spell, they can hex them for strength or dex and ensure that they stay in. All right, that's what I got for everybody today. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and I will catch everybody later.